any project that's trying to be innovative in difficult circumstances, there are going to be periods where you're wondering where you're going, you're wondering whether you're making collectively the right decisions. I think what it comes back down to are the working relationships that you develop, the people that you have around the table. It comes down to the people at the end of the day.
Getting the right team and having the initial resources to get organized is, one of the keys of success. If you can't get organized with the right people in the beginning, because you have to sell it, and you have to bring on partners and supporters. The one thing that Evergreen had done well in spades was they did have a good board. I mean, to my mind, they were a dream board.
At some point, to build a $55 million project, you have to have people who have the actual experience and knowledge to manage that kind of project.
For anybody who wants to try and do this, ask for help. Don't ever assume that you can do it yourself. Don't ever assume that the very smartest person for the issue that you have will turn you down if you actually ask for help. It's a really interesting thing. If you ask, you'll be startled how many times people will say, sure, fine.
I think that any organization that takes on a project of this size and scale and visibility really needs to connect with people who have the various skill sets. And from a legal perspective, that meant that they really needed a full-service law firm.
Blake's was our law firm and managing our legal side of the equation, and they were fabulous. And without them, we wouldn't have a project. It was well over $1 million worth of pro bono legal support that they gave us. We had to pay for that. Well, we couldn't have paid for that.
A lot of people with a lot of skills said, I know you will need help, therefore I will offer that help to you. And 90% of that help has come at no cost. If we had not been able to get that in place and continue from a legal standpoint, from a negotiating standpoint, we would have been dead in the water 4 years ago.
People wanted Evergreen to succeed. And Jeff had that sense when he set his eyes on the Brickworks, and Shauna and the rest of the team said, if we take this on, people will want us to succeed, and we have to give it our best shot. So let's go ahead and do it. And they assembled the forces around them to do it.
I think it's key that you bring together a lot of community partners. A place like this is a shared place. It's not a place for one organization. Evergreen is certainly the leader and the catalyst here, but there are many, many community partners. And I think we might have been able to do a better job of understanding how they might have been heard at the table as we went through.
We learned a lot about working with partners through this process, and it's complex in terms of relationships.
We had a lot of partners who were in from the beginning who didn't necessarily make it to the finish line, and I think the lesson learned from that is that you can count on people to be excited and you can count on people to contribute to a vision, but you can't necessarily count on them to be able to make it work for them financially. What happened naturally and what we might have anticipated and what we should be thinking about in terms of future projects is that we need to anticipate that this is going to happen, that there will be attrition in terms of the partners that originally sign up.
When we started to spend money on designers and making up your mind and so on, that would have been a good time for Evergreen to say to some of the partners, if you are really in, we are going to, bring your own designers or subcontract, ours to pay for the configuration of your space. And that would have been I think that would have been an opportunity for partners to either, get involved with both feet or to redefine their role. So Evergreen, I think, that's an example where we probably were inefficient with our time and our resources, is that we spent a lot of money trying to design spaces for partners that in the end didn't materialize because things changed.
I think your average project, and quite frankly, almost any business, and I say business generally speaking for not-for-profits, government or corporations, always like to have a strategic plan, an operating plan that's buttoned down and kind of absolute. For us, we haven't been able to establish certainty around anything. In the early stages anyway. We're beginning to clarify and establish certainty now, but in the early stages of the development of the project, nothing was absolute. So bringing in the Gardner Museum of Ceramic Art or Jamie Kennedy, who could have foreseen the fact that they wouldn't end up there at the end? We didn't. But so we had to move quickly. When certain partners fell away and certain programming ideas fell away for various reasons, we had to very quickly reestablish an idea.